So if academia cannot compete with salaries and perhaps even even compute and sometimes the data you have access to, but at least we can be an inspiration, having figures such as you, and personally you were an inspiration when I was starting, and we met the first time, yeah, and he's talking about philosophy, and there's this complete freedom of thought, and that's something that perhaps even today in some of these companies they have a lot of freedom as well, but it's not exactly the same freedom we have in academia as well. So in terms of the new generation, how can we attract? We are going to do AI for good. It's because you are going to have this freedom. It's because we need this. What's the best way, from your point of view, just to attract these people, especially when we don't have the money to attract these people, the best people to academia and have these great PhDs?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think I don't really have a magic wand or any kind of very concrete solution. I believe in role models, and I think you give me too much credit for being a role model, but I think if I can do I don't want to tell people what to do. I have my opinions, but that there's a difference between having an opinion and telling people what to do. I don't tend to tell people what to do, but I sometimes show them by example what I would do or how I would go about things. And I think that's if people see that a little bit, and I find it now that I'm older, I sometimes forget how I was when I was 25 and hungry for knowledge and ready to deal with the big problems of the world, right? So, and sometimes a student thanks me for something because at some crucial moment in their life I said something that made them change their mind, and to be frank, I don't always remember that conversation, so it's almost against the odds, but we shouldn't forget, that all of us do have this role to play as well in sort of, we deal with young people, so we can try to inspire them. Like yesterday I talked to your Belgian PhD student Wout, and he's clearly, he's very clever, and he knows what he wants, and he's a typical academic. And so I think we need to nurture that as much as we can, and to get, each of us can only do a few things and can influence a few lives. But I think together, this idea of academic freedom, this idea of curiosity-driven research, is really important, which has always been my motivation. So, I do things that I'm curious about or that I'm trying to understand. Not necessarily. I get a lot of young students now who say, "Yeah, I want to make a difference. I want to change the world." I say, "Well, maybe doing a PhD is not the best, not the most obvious way for really changing the world, but you can do your bit and advance knowledge." And I think that's a good thing.